Before we get started, I got to give a little shout out to Halftee. Halftee is the perfect layering shirt for women. It adds a sleeve and a neckline to all of your sleeveless tops, dresses, and jumpers and allows you to wear all of today's fashions without all the extra bulk and heat, but you get to do it modestly. So I've actually got one on. This is our brand new ruche sleeve, cuts off right here. It is perfect for this maxi dress and just gives me a more modest coverage, but it also lets me extend my wardrobe all year round. Go ahead and use Her Layered Life to save 15% off your first purchase. Go check us out at halftee.com. Welcome to Her Layered Life, where faith, family, business, and the power of her influence come together. Because her life is layered and her influence can change the world. Ladies, it's Christmas season, and if your home looks anything like mine right now, you're probably juggling wrapping paper, schedules, and maybe a few burnt Christmas cookies. But amid all the chaos, there's something sacred that holds it all together: family traditions. Today, I want to talk about what those traditions mean, how they evolve as our families grow, and maybe the spark that brings on some new ones. Guys, family life has evolving traditions constantly. When the kids were little, traditions looked significantly different than they do today. In fact, I was just talking to Bailee and Princess about, it adding kids because we've added Ben into our lives. So now we're going to most likely add another in-law this summer. But adding people and ages make a huge difference. But really traditions, they some can be locked and loaded, but I really think a lot of times some just need to ebb and flow with the rhythm of our lives. But I want to talk today about family traditions are more honestly than rituals. They're how we remember who we are. They tell our kids this is what home feels like. I've been reflecting lately on how our own family traditions have shifted over the years. With 8 kids, no two seasons have looked the same. Some years is matching pajamas and hot cocoa. Other years is teenagers rolling their eyes while still secretly loving that I make them. We play out the Christmas story from the scriptures, and that's really fun. And sometimes we go to a Christmas devotional on Christmas Eve, and I love it. And they probably would rather just stay home and, I don't know, drink Mountain Dew and watch a movie, right? Watch what is our favorite Christmas vacation? Absolutely favorite movie, or Elf. Elf is a all-time fave here as well. But those things that as parents we want our kids to still keep the spirit of Christmas. And I will be completely honest, I was just telling Bailee and Princess this as well. I love the season of Christmas, like obsessed with it. I love Christmas music. I love the Christmas concerts, Christmas dances. Um, I don't mind Christmas decorations because I love that we get to pull out the nativity scenes of Christ. I love, love, love. Like in church, we have like a Christmas. It's not a concert; it'd be a Christmas program. Love that as well. But I don't love Christmas as a holiday because when you are, and this is for anybody, but for me, when I'm purchasing for 8 people and trying to find, things and keep it affordable and still try to keep the spirit of Christmas in it all, I just really struggle trying to stay happy about it. So, a few years ago, not a few, Cooper was just a baby. We started this new tradition because I just am really quick before I get into that. I love thinking back to those small, ordinary Christmases when the kids were super small. They were young, literally just the excitement of seeing presents under the tree. Not probably not until Covington like grew out of his seek and destroy, which is like 2 and 3 years old. I didn't even ever put presents out until the night of, just because I couldn't keep them a secret. We always had a little toddler running around. They would, start opening them all. So literally, it wasn't until Covey had kind of grown out of that I even started putting presents under the tree prior to Christmas Eve. But and Ty and I stay up really, really late wrapping presents. And then the kids would, and guys, when you have 8 kids, it looks actually kind of like illegal how many presents are under the Christmas tree, with all those people. But when they would walk out, just excitement. And I remember as a child, it's so hard to go to sleep the night before Christmas because you're so excited to see what Santa brought. and to open the presents, even though for us, we knew most of the time what our presents were because my mom was a terrible secret keeper and she most of the time had us go pick out our own presents and she would wrap them. And now it's genetic because I do the same thing. But that's another side and another podcast. But just that excitement of just anticipation and the opening the presents. I love, 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 love that when the kids were so small. And obviously now that the kids are a little bit bigger, things have shifted. But something that we started quite a while ago. Charlie was, let's see, how old was Chuckles? She was probably 8 or 9 because Cooper was born, but Cooper was a baby. So, it was 9, 7. Yeah, it probably was 9, 7, 5, 3, 2, and 1. And then we had the baby. And Tyler and I had started discussing about how we wanted to make Christmas more about experiences, more about time together than we wanted it to be about the presents. And so we had decided that year, such a ghetto cruise, but we had decided that year that we were going to wrap up things and take the kids on a cruise. And so I got like, I don't know, I wrapped up sunscreen. And I mean, you should have seen the look on their faces when they were opening sunscreen. But I wrapped up sunscreen and a swimsuit and towels. And then each of them got a piece of a puzzle. And when they put the puzzle together, it said, "Pack your bags. We're headed on a cruise." And that day, we literally packed our bags. We actually left Cooper home because she was like, I don't know, 9 months. I was like, she'll never remember. So we're going to leave her home with grandma. So we left the baby home, which I know is a little bit, Princess is literally like, oh my gosh, how'd you leave your child home for Christmas? We did. And I loaded the kids up. We went to Vegas that night, stayed in Vegas that night, and then headed to San Diego, hopped um, on a cruise ship. And we did like the Catalina, Ensenada, and there was one other stop. I can't remember. It wasn't great. I'll be honest. It was not my favorite thing we've ever done. There were aspects of it that wasn't our favorite. But overall, in fact, we were so excited too because all of our friends had told us, "Hey, go on a cruise. They have kids club, and the kids just go and have a blast and do games and crafts and whatever." And we get there on the cruise, and we go to take the kids to kids club, and you should have seen Call's face. Call was, how old was Call at the time? Probably 5. And he is marching in line of kids club, and you would have thought that we were literally sending him to his own personal execution, the face that he had on. And we go back after a couple hours. I'm like, go in there and play and quit being such a brat. And we come back and pick him up, and he's like, "Thanks for sending us to kids prison." I was like, you spoiled little booty head. Anyways, there were certain aspects that I thought were going to be fantastic, ended up being terrible. But overall, it really taught Tyler and I that that's really what we wanted to make Christmas more about. And then fast forward to Covey, we went to Costa Rica one year, traveled over Christmas, spent Christmas in Costa Rica. That was probably my favorite thing we've ever done as a family when it comes to Christmas. But we really tried to start doing experiences over presents. And then when I started basketball season, started coaching, Covington was 2. And that's, basketball season creates a whole nother dynamic of what we're doing because we've got 5 days of moratorium sandwich. Oh, a funny story. This is actually funny. Sorry, I digress, but I have to go back to the Costa Rica trip because Charlie was a freshman that year. And it was my first year. She's my first. But come on, like I've been playing basketball my whole life, but I totally messed this up. I scheduled a trip to go to Costa Rica as a family, completely forgetting that she would be right in the middle of basketball season and that I didn't know what they had planned over Christmas break. How many practices was she going to miss? Like all these things. Because we had planned it probably, I mean, that's the problem. That's why I should never plan that far in advance. But we had planned this for probably 9 months. So it just hadn't clicked. Like all the little things that would be going on 9 months from now. Anyways, her basketball team, she ends up making the varsity squad, and her team goes to Hawaii over that Christmas break. Yeah. So the basketball coach is like, "Who are you? You play basketball. You played high school basketball. Why are you taking a family trip over right in the middle of basketball season?" I said, I know, this is terrible. I don't know. I just wasn't thinking. So her whole basketball team goes to Hawaii. She misses all these games. We go to Costa Rica. Best week of our lives. Honestly, it would be funny to have her tell you about all the conditioning I made her do because I felt so guilty. So we'd like go out on the beach and run sprints and do lunges across the beach. And the house that we stayed on was kind of like on a side hill and it had stairs going down to the beach. It was actually like if you can think of a movie on a beach, like a beach house, like it was incredibly marvelous in every way. But we did run up and down those stairs many, many times to condition and make sure that she didn't get out of shape while she was on family vacation during basketball season. Anyways, that's a little side note. But since coaching basketball, we take those 5 days. And so the last 6, 7 years, yeah, no, I'm in my ninth season. So this would be our ninth time. We go down to St. George. We're doing different this year, but we've been going down to St. George, staying in the same house. We pack up our razors, our motorcycles, our 4x4s, our 4-wheelers, and we go down to St. George and we stay in a house that looked very similar to ours. It has a pool and ping pong. Ping pong is a must for us. Every house that we go, anywhere we go, has to have ping pong because we are actually very competitive ping pong players. I will say, side note, no one can beat me. I know it's being a little cocky, but it's true. Very hard to beat me. I am the top ping pong player of the Barker family, and I hold that title very, very close to my heart. Anyways, so we go, we celebrate, and I love getting away. And something that we changed as far as presents, because you're not going to travel with 10 people and bring all the presents with you, because that would be absolutely cray. We'd have to take a whole nother car, honestly, if we wanted to do it that way. But what we do now is each of the kids, something that I really wanted to change to is this is me, this is a me thing. I'm a very practical gift giver. And so it kills me to give gifts that I know are literally, I'm going to throw away in like 6 months because nothing's been done with them or I'm going to DI them. So when we started going to St. George, we made like a little shift in the Christmas rules. But my kids can ask for one thing. They get one present. And there's really no budget to it. I mean, they can't ask for a new car, right? But they can ask for one thing. So they get one thing. And then we do like cute little stocking stuffers where it's a box of cereal, some Tyler always gets Nerf guns because they always have a Nerf gun fight at the house. But we do underwear, socks. Those are the sort of things that go into the stockings. But that has also been another way that I have really, really reduced the stress for me as the mom around Christmas. And I think that I can do that because the kids are a little bit bigger. I mean, Covey was tiny though when we first started doing it. And so that's all he's grown up with is one present. In fact, he was just the other day thinking, "Oh, I need to figure out what present I want for Christmas." And it's not like it's changed the mentality too, like, "Oh, what are all the things I can ask for?" It's really helped my kids really hone in to figure out what do I really want. Anyways, that's just a little tradition that has tweaked over the years. It's really honestly simplified how I do Christmas. And I actually love Christmas season now significantly more because it really is more about family time and not about me crushing the Black Friday sales to see how much crap I can get at a good enough deal that I can afford, right? And then watching all of the presents kind of gather dust and get DI'd the next year when we're cleaning out our closets. But that is a family tradition that I really liked. The other family tradition that I feel like is really stuck. Wow, that's really stuck. Is we go every single year. Well, we haven't because Temple Square is under construction, so that's kind of put a big old wrench in my family traditions. But I will start it back up once it's back open. Every year we plan a day where we go up and do Temple Lights, and then we actually just get a room and we stay at a hotel, eat dinner up there, and just have a little sleepover. And that's something we have done since the kids were tiny, all of them tiny, and I have loved that tradition. I'm super excited to start that back up once Christmas or once Temple Square gets opened back up. Anyways, all these stories, all of these memories just are so fun to think back on. And this is segueing into more of this was the first half, but we're going to the second half. But Bailee and I were talking about family traditions and she brought up the cutest family tradition that they do. And the reason why we're doing this so early is because I don't know about you, but for me, the other side of Christmas is the Christmas vacation, right? The kids are out of school for 2 weeks. And sometimes it's hard. It's cold. I'm lucky because my kids love to ski, so I don't honestly hardly see them at all because they're up skiing the whole time. But I thought it was so fun when she was explaining this family tradition that we have, that her family has. I thought it'd be so fun to incorporate that on the podcast and give, maybe if it's something that resonates with you, but give you something, an activity to do as a family. Maybe you start implementing it as a family tradition like Bailee has. But I really wanted to talk about a family tradition, an activity that you guys can do over Christmas break with your family. And so I invited Bailee to come on. Now, for those of you that don't know Bailee, Bailee is like a social, one of our social members of our social media team. She handles and organizes all of our B2B collaborations that we've been working on. She does a ton of organizational side of the podcast. So making sure that everybody has what they need. She helps me write scripts. She is literally rock star status when it comes to like little organizational things. And then she also helps with social media as far as photo shoots and organizing those as well. So I want to introduce Bailee Gardner to the show, the podcast show. She actually let me know that I didn't get to really, because honestly, that conversation was months ago and I've kind of forgotten. And I asked her questions that we needed to write down for the script. And she said, you actually don't get to know. And I said, okay, that's kind of creepy, but you're the guest. So I'm going to go with it. So I'm kind of waiting to know what we're going to talk about. Other than the tradition that was she told me the first time, I really loved it. So I'm excited to remember all the ins and outs. I remember just little bits, but let's resituate the camera and invite Bailee on.
So first, I'm just going to explain this tradition a little bit. It's probably my very favorite part of the Christmas season. And my dad has been doing this since he was little.
So this is your dad's family
Yes,
tradition.
I don't know where it came from.
You know how old your dad is?
My dad is 40. What year is it? 45. My
He's
dad's 45.
So for 45 years, your dad has been, well, it requires talk.
Not quite, but
okay.
Yeah, I don't know where it came from before that, but every year my dad and his 5 other siblings, my dad and all of his siblings and his parents would sit down and they would do Christmas Eve interviews. So basically they go kid by kid, we go youngest to oldest, and we talk about our year and our hopes for the upcoming year. And I mean, even just little things, what's your name? What's your favorite color? Right? Every year you have to ask, what's your name?
And would they just shoot it on a camcorder?
Yeah, we had up until, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, we had like old camcorder that we would shoot on. It finally kicked the bucket. And I was really sad. So now I shoot it on my phone. And yeah, somehow I've ended up.
So do you just have like rows of VHSs of Christmas 1978?
So most of them have been condensed onto CDs now.
Oh, okay.
CDs, hello, DVDs.
CDs. You don't even know what a CD is, do you?
My little brother, I have a a cassette player in my truck, and my little brother asked what it was the other day, and I started crying. I was like, no, just no. Anyways.
Cody actually uses CDs and cassette players. She has a Walkman. Kyle gave Cody a Walkman for her birthday.
That's awesome.
Hilarious.
Yeah, so we have like 3 DVDs that have like 10 years each on them or something.
Oh my gosh.
So they're all condensed. But some of our like favorite inside jokes as a family have come from watching the ones from when my dad was little.
Okay.
That's my very favorite part of the whole Christmas season, is sitting down and watching these videos.
I love it.
There's one where my dad tries on his sister's prom dress and it's hysterical. There's one where my uncle is
like, why would he try on your sister's prom dress? Like, how does that was that the highlight of his year? I'm trying to think of the questions you're asking.
So he only has one sister.
Okay.
And she's doing her interview, and because he's the little brother, he has to interrupt and, oh, Jana went to prom and here's this dress that she wore and I had to wear it because we're the same height and she wasn't here and my mom was trying to hem it. So they're like, Luke, go put it on. So he comes out in this prom. It's so funny.
Oh
it's
my gosh.
hysterical.
That's so cute.
Anyways, there are a lot of good ones, but it's my very favorite family tradition.
How fun. So
I thought that we would I do a lot of the back end of the podcast. Like I kind of decide what the theme's going to be and kind of what they're going to chat about, the questions they're going to ask. So I thought we would structure this and kind of talk about your year based on this family tradition.
I love that. What a good idea.
Yeah.
This is a surprise. I really didn't know what she was going to do. You never know.
You never know.
Oh, that's so cute. Okay, I'm ready.
So, introducing Amanda's Christmas Eve interview. Okay, so we always start off with what's your name?
Amanda Nell Barker.
And how old are you?
That's rude to ask, but no, I'm just kidding. I'm 48.
And then I don't know how much we've actually talked about this on the podcast, so I thought you could just quick introduce your husband and all your kids.
Oh, that's cute. Okay, I love it. So, my husband's Tyler. We've been married for 26 years. We have 8 kids. Tyler's from Provo. I'm from Wyoming. And we met at BYU. His mom actually set us up. She worked at the Marriott Center. I played basketball at BYU, Marriott Center, where we did all of our practices. And so every day we were going back and forth. Hi, Kay. Hi, Amanda. Blah, blah, blah. And there was like a little scheme in the office slash training room because the trainer was one of Tyler's older sister's best friends. And so her and Kay were scheming on how to set Tyler up with me. And obviously it worked. We have 8 kiddos. Charlie is 24. And we have Cash, who's 22. Call is 20. Cody's 18. You get the gist. Cruz is 16. Cooper's 15. Clancy's 13. And Covington just turned 11. So we're 24 down to 11. We've lived here in Provo for my whole married. Well, I mean, we moved to Orem and it's Linden. Was our house in? Yeah, we lived in Orem and Provo base for the whole 26 years, but happily married. We've been in this house for 15. So,
Love it.
yeah.
Okay, who are your friends?
Oh, who are my friends? Now this could get me in trouble. You know, I have a very large basketball friend pool where we play a ton of basketball together. And I love those women so very much. There's a couple that I've been playing and have some of my dearest friends clear back. Like I'm thinking Kristen Poole is one of my dearest friends, and her and she's from Provo, and we were competitors back in the day. I started my basketball career at College of Southern Idaho. She played at UVSC. So UVU used to be a junior college, and then we were in the same region. And so she played at UVSC, I played at CSI. So we were competitors for 2 years. And then I can't even remember. I need to ask Poole if she'll remember. She won't because she's a lot like I am. But once I was here, it was a summer that I was training to go to BYU because I'd signed on to come here, and she was going to UNLV. So we were again going to be in the WAC competing against each other. And we somehow met somewhere and we started training in the summers together. And it was one of my favorite summers of all time. One of our other good friends, her name's Tracy Red. I played with her younger sister, but they owned a boat. It was the hooptiest boat on the planet. But she had like configured a boom so we could go wakeboarding. So we would hook up this hoopty boat. We would go wakeboarding. That was the summer of wakeboarding training, and honestly, realizing Taco Bell's bean burritos were significantly better if you did double the red sauce, half the beans, and no onions. And I did that because Poole ordered that every single time, double red sauce, no onion, and it was freaking bomb.com. Anyways, she still to this day is one of my dearest, dearest friends. My family obviously is my friend. Babada, I played basketball with Babada at BYU. She's one of my dearest friends as well that I see off. You know, I'm talking people I see often. Uh, Danielle is one of my friends. She is at BYU. She's who I travel with in the summers on traveling teams. And then Penny um, down is my workout partner and my bestie of all times. She's my counselor, my therapist, all the things wrapped up into one. And then Shannon, one house over, she would be the kind of the inspo behind. She's the one that got me to go to Glacier to Female Founders, and that's kind of where this whole podcast was born. But honestly, then some of my bestest friends are the women that I get to work with every day. I mean, talk about tried and true, ride or die. Um, and then my sister's bestest friends. My mama. I have a really, really great friend group, but that would be the names that pop into my head.
That's good. Send your disgruntled comments to It's Amanda Bean on Instagram if you got
Yeah.
left out.
I have so many more. Amanda Anderson keeps my brain on straight and keeps it real. Um, Yeah, I have a lot of really, really good friends.
What's your favorite color?
Yellow
Yellow, your
or
color.
red. I mean, yellow is definitely gonna be my all-time fave, but I really love red too.
Did you go on any fun trips this year?
Yes, I did. I went on some incredible trips. So I went to so my friend Danielle that I play basketball with, we she gets together and organizes a traveling women's old ladies. We call us ourselves old ladies, but I say we're more like seasoned, experienced. Uh we have been doing this for years. She's been doing it for years. I think they've gone on 6 or 7 trips collectively. I've been on 3, but this year we went to Taiwan and played in the World Masters Championships in Taiwan, and it was so freaking fun. Um, Spent about 7 days there and then headed over to Japan for 3. Um, Won the tournament, so we are the
I didn't know
champions.
you won.
Yes, we
Missed
won.
that.
We beat the Taiwanese women. They were good, honestly. They were very good. They beat us the first time, that we played them, so it was kind of pool play,
Mhm.
and then we came back to the championship game, and it was so fun, so stinking fun. The women on that team were obviously some of my really, really good friends as well, but so we went on that trip. We have a tradition, a family tradition that we go to the beach every year with McGilvery Shannon. And I love that trip. We go to San Clemente, we camp on the beach, and then we
Good.
go down to Escondido and we stay in the Lawrence Welk Resort. We bought a timeshare there when I was literally 3 weeks away from having Cody. So I was massive. But they brought us into one of those dumb timeshare meetings, and we fell for it. But it's been a blessing. So we've been going back to the Lawrence Welk Resort for years. And then I got to go to Spain. This year has been bomb. I
Mm.
got to go to Spain with Chuckles, or not Chuckles, that's a lie. That would be my other daughter. I got to go to Spain with Coco. Cody, don't get mad at me. Um, and because she was going to Spain to be an au pair. That was
Mhm.
one of her little adventures. But I was stressed about sending her to a foreign country with a family that I didn't know, right?
Yeah.
So we made a trip of it. We went to Greece first, stayed in Greece for a few days, and then went to Barcelona. It was so fun. I would not go. We went to Athens. I won't do it again. It was a great one-time experience. You need to go. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not really into like the Greek gods and
See, I am.
yeah. And if you are, that's so safe. Good on you. When you see a stone knocked over from a pillar, there's only so many things you can say. But I loved the shopping in Athens. I loved the speed and I loved the food was so good. And then we went to Barcelona and I loved Barcelona. Barcelona was way more my vibe, honestly. The shopping was fantastic. We went to the Familia Cathedral, Familia de Cathedral de Familia, right? I wish it a lot, but my favorite was the Familia de the Cathedral of the Family. I'm just going to stick with English. I loved it. Probably my favorite thing I've ever seen was that
That's
trip,
awesome.
and it was fun to be with Coco. It was a blast, actually. She's just so fun. Um, and yeah, that's what I've done this year. It
You
was a
can't forget about
wonderful year.
Glacier.
What?
Can't forget about Glacier.
Duh. Yeah, I
Yeah.
went to Glacier too.
Yeah,
Yeah, thanks, Bailee.
of
I
course.
went to Glacier then in November, and no, not November. But I went to Glacier, whenever I went to Glacier. When was that?
Mm.
September-ish? When did I
It
get
was
bullied into
before
the
that, wasn't
podcast?
it?
August? Was it August? Okay, so I went to Glacier in August-ish, July-ish. Well,
Mm.
I've now gone back 4 months, so clearly I can't remember when I
Sometime
went to
this year.
Glacier, but it was life-changing. Yeah, went to Glacier for female founders only, and that was a wonderful trip too because it was an epiphany for me, and I love epiphany.
We're good. See, what did you accomplish this year?
What did I accomplish?
Yeah.
Well, I love to travel. It's one of my favorite things to do. So I was super blessed to be able to go to countries that I'd never been before, and I learned a lot. My favorite thing, this is something that um, I think people travel differently. I think people have different goals when they travel. Some people want to just travel and be on crack and see as many things as possible. And they get there and they're just high speed. What I've realized is that's how I live my life normally is
Mm.
at a very high speed. So when I go on a vacation or when I travel, I need it to slow down a little bit.
Mhm.
So, and I try to approach it like, listen, if you love this place, you can always come back.
I like
Because I
that.
think a lot of times people approach travel as, I'll never be able to come back here, so I better go and see whatever I can. And I think that's a really terrible way to approach something new.
Mm.
So I approach it more like, hey, if you love it, you can come back. Just take it all in, just really, really enjoy it. So my favorite things to do when we travel is, on our way to Athens, we went to Boston, where Charlie served. We went to the area that Charlie served her mission in, and going to church that Sunday was one of my spiritual highs of the year. It was very sweet. I Because that's one of my favorite things to do when we travel is to go to church. I don't even care if it's our religion. I just love to go and see how other people worship God in other countries. I do love going to like a ward or a branch or whatever because I also love seeing that connection between similar faiths, recognizing that the gospel is true everywhere. It doesn't matter where you are. But I love worshiping in other countries and I love food from other countries. I love tasting it. I just think there is so much to say about a culture and how they worship God or their religious beliefs, what they eat, because what they eat typically is what is found in the country, right? Is
Mm.
is unique to the country agriculturally. So you learn a lot about that. And then I also love just fashion in other countries. I love shopping because I think you also can tell a lot about a culture by how they dress and how they're shopping. So those are my 3 favorite things, to do when we travel, but that's what I mean, traveling with Coco and having connections with friends, um, let's see, we had a fantastic basketball season last year. We had the most wins in Provo girls history
Wow,
basketball. We were
okay.
21 and 4. So that was super duper fun. We had a wedding. We had our first wedding. Charlie got married last summer. That was a lot of freaking work. We moved Kay, Tyler's mother. Uh, she finally moved from the house that they had been in for, I think, 60 years.
Wow.
So we moved her into a different house, and that was a big summer. And then work, Halftee's doing fantastic. Podcast started. We've had some fun breakouts with Halftee and just more aligning with what some of my core values is just rising and helping and supporting women in business. So that's been really fun with such an awesome supportive team kind of getting behind that and saying, "Yeah, let's do this."
What are your goals for next year, and what are you looking forward to for next year?
What are my goals for next year? My goals are, okay, I'll situate it. Family goals are, we have a lot of family goals because I think we're bringing home Call from a mission. So Call gets home from a mission.
That's so
Yeah,
exciting.
I'm so excited for that. So probably a wedding. And then we have, then Tyler and I, in our church, we were called to do Trek. Now, Trek is something that you can Google, and they'll make fun of us because it's basically when a bunch of Mormons go out and act like pioneers across the trail, right? We're reenacting the pioneers coming across the plains. The purpose of it is to connect us and, to remember their trials and to remember the things that they went through to follow what Heavenly Father needed them to do. But Tyler and I are in charge of the entire stake trek this year, which is a massive, massive job. So that is going to be a lot. I'm expecting a wonderful basketball season. We're going to be really, really good. And so I'm hoping for another fantastic season. Uh, let's see, Halftee is in a rebuilding phase right now. So I'm super duper excited to see where the next season of Halftee is going. And I think it's going to be awesome. And I'm excited to see that. Family wise, it's just we're changing, we're growing up, and things are shifting, and that's exciting. So that's there's a lot going on this next year, and I'm
Yeah,
excited to see.
it'll be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be super fun.
Let's see. Well, usually we're asking my little brothers, we always ask them what they want Santa to bring them for Christmas. So,
What do I want for
what do you want from
Christmas?
Santa?
I want I already know what I want. Who's that? Coops. Hi, Cooper. I want a pair of Birkenstock clogs.
Mm, I like it.
That's what I want.
My dad always says, "Happy orphan."
Okay.
So,
Well, I would love happy orphans too, but I'm gonna go ahead for the
the clogs
worldly
are
thing and get Birkenstock
yeah,
clogs.
running joke. Um,
No, I don't. I know, that's crazy. I have 28 pairs of Birkenstocks, but they're all exactly the same, the wide two strap because I love them. But I did get my Uggs, and they
Ooh,
fit!
yay!
Yes, I did. Yeah. I got the Uggs last week because
Mm,
Princess convinced me because she has Uggs,
no,
like
they're really cute.
the slipper Uggs, you know?
Yeah.
And she's like, "I think you could wear the kids." So I got on, and you save like 50 bucks.
You know, they're way too my feet are barely too big, and it
Oh,
makes me
shoot.
really upset.
Yeah, so if you're 7.5, you can wear the kids 6, the big kids 6, and they fit.
Yeah, well, if you're a 9, then you're out of
You're
luck.
not
Sorry.
keep saving if you're a 9.
Okay, well, those are most of our silly questions. Some of these, we'll throw in every couple of years, and some of them I just thought would be fun to ask you.
Okay.
So, this one we've been doing recently. What's your favorite name of Jesus and why?
Probably my favorite name is Jesus. I love it. I love it because it reminds me that he truly does he is our brother. And he came down, he lived as a man. They called him Jesus, right? That is his name. And so I love thinking of him as Jesus, Jesus Christ, my savior, because it keeps it more attainable, but yet still honorable, sacred, and the way it should be. So Jesus is my favorite. I'll say,
I
let's
love
listen to
that.
Jesus music. What would Jesus do? Remember Jesus today, just remember to keep Jesus with you. I don't know.
I
And
love that.
yeah, that's probably my
Yeah,
favorite.
I always wanted an older brother growing up, and the day I had the epiphany that, like, I do, it's Jesus, changed
Oh,
my life.
that's
'Cause I'm
cute.
the oldest, I have 3 little brothers,
Uh-huh.
and so I was like, "I just want somebody who's, like, older than me to protect me," all the
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
And it was
Anyways,
Jesus.
it was Jesus.
Oh,
Anyways,
that's sweet.
let's see. How have you seen yourself grow this year, and how have you seen Halftee grow this year?
That's awesome. Let's see. Growth. I have had to grow a lot because of half tea. And I don't mean to keep bringing up a dead horse because I am not depressed. I'm not sad. I'm not like, woe is me at all. But I brought it up a couple times. Half tea is in a very big rebuilding time right now. We just can't quite put our finger on, there have been some things that have shifted within the business structure, within the economy. There's just things going on that's very hard to put your finger on. And we have definitely felt that shift in our business this year. But what a blessing it is, and I sincerely mean this, that there is never a better time to find Jesus than when you are in a spot that you don't know how to get out of. You can't put your finger on it. You have to really start digging deep and putting things together and asking hard questions, not just about what's going on, but you have to look at yourself. I mean, I'm the CEO of Halftee, and if it's struggling, uh, what can I do better? What have I not been doing well as the CEO? So it's been very reflective. I've learned a lot, but most importantly, what I have learned is life is about the faith, hope, and charity cycle, right? And as we live our lives, we are constantly in all different phases, all different seasons, all different aspects of life. We're rotating through this hope. We hope things are going to work out. And then we get to the other side of it. We see that it did. So now we have faith, right? That gives us faith in God that He takes care of little things. And then when we have that faith, we actually have more love for God, which when we have more love for God, then we can have more charity for others. That's kind of how the hope, faith, charity cycle works.
I love that.
And business and life teaches us so much about Heavenly Father is constantly giving us opportunities. Well, I hope this is going to work out, right? I hope that Halftee still has 16 more years of business, right? Or I hope we can get through this month and pay our bills, or I hope we can figure out how this is going to work out. And through the last few months, I've had a lot of hope. And slowly these tiny little things have worked out. We actually have a running list of tender mercies on our board, right?
Mm,
And what that has given me the opportunity is to test this cycle. And as I've lived these experiences and throughout my entire life, what I do know and what this has helped ground me is that again testify to me that God is in the details. He absolutely knows our trials, our struggles, our joys long before we do. And he is not a procrastinator. God does not procrastinate. He is the ultimate planner, right? And so whatever it is we are going through or whatever it is we are struggling with, he already knew. He already knew. And he's been planning for those struggles. And he's been putting into place the things that we're going to need in order to overcome, to work through, to celebrate. Sometimes it's he knows we're going to have something awesome come along, and he also needs to plan for that, right, and help us celebrate in the right way. But it's just been a really excellent opportunity for me to again turn to him, recognize that when we stand, this is my new favorite song of all time. It's called "Standing on the Promises of God." But when we stand on the promises of God, when we stand on our covenants that we have made with him, all things are possible. And nothing goes unnoticed when God is walking with us. So it's just, struggles are real. They're so good if you can approach them right. And God's timing is so important. And it's in the waiting. That's where the hope is, right? Like it's in the patience. Hope is in the patience,
Mm.
right? Oh, I hope this works out. That's when we have to be patient. And instead of looking at that like, oh my gosh, it's taking so long to figure this out. I hate God's timing. Instead of instead reframe that into, ooh, I am so excited to see what God has planned.
I love that.
Right. So that's been my
I love it. Let's see. Did anything happen this year that you wanna remember forever?
Charlie getting married.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were gonna say.
Yeah.
It's a good answer.
Yeah, Charlie getting married, that was so freaking fun. The whole thing was fun. The planning was even fun. I mean, we had some pretty hairy moments, but that
It's
just
hard,
cut
but
yeah,
it's
it's
fun.
freaking hard. But I loved it. I loved the wedding. We had it in our backyard, and I loved watching who just showed up to help. Like family showing up, and it you can't do it by yourself, and that's something we all need to remember is we can't do it on our own. If you want something to be wonderful, you better have wonderful people to help you with it. So that was fun to see who stayed and helped and pitched in. And I mean, hilarious. Charlie, remember in our team meeting? Were you there in our team meeting when Charlie called and said, "Hey, oh no, I got the group text. No, you weren't there yet. This will make you laugh so hard because
Boy.
it's so Charlie." I get a group text and it's me, Babada, my friend Babada, and Chuck. And she goes, and it's, "Hey Babada, I'm just wondering if you could throw me a bridal shower." I almost died. So I'm side text Bob and I was like, should I be concerned that my daughter just basically assigned out a bridal shower to my best friend and that she did it because she definitely thinks I wouldn't be able to? But Bob is so awesome. She's like, I am literally so honored that Charlie thought to like delegate that out to me. I'm dying. I said, Chuck, you don't delegate out bridal showers. Like your aunts do it. I do it. She's like, I know, but it was on my to-do list. I just figured I'd take care of it myself.
Honestly, I feel that.
Yeah, because you're such a like, I'm just gonna do it.
No,
Right?
I
Because you
did
planned your whole wedding.
yeah, I basically did
Yeah.
plan my whole wedding myself,
Yeah.
so, yeah,
Well, you
I
and
was
Chuck
yeah,
can have
I get
some
it.
horror
Mhm.
stories.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? Let's see. If you could describe this year in 3 words, what would they be?
Can I do not 3 words? Can I do like a mantra?
Yeah,
Okay. I'm gonna not do 3 words. I want to do a mantra. And this is my mantra of the year. As I draw closer to God, I recognize how aligned I am with him.
I love that.
And the reason why I love that's one of the affirmations I write down every day, is because I really sincerely do want to be aligned with God. And and I think we question that a lot. I think that because when things don't happen in the right time or in the right way and when I say right, I'm saying according to our time, according to how we think things should work out, right? We start to question whether or not we're aligned with God, right? Or we're making the right decision. But again, going back to standing on his promises, when we when we are keeping his commandments, God promises over and over and over in the scriptures that if we keep his commandments, we will prosper in the land. And and if we can remember that, even though the timing or the way, the order of how things are working out is not the way that we would see it or want it, um, we have to have confidence in that. And so that is something I've written down every day for the last for months. to remind myself that I am drawing closer to God as I keep my covenant and keep the commandments, read my scriptures, say my prayers, do the things that He's asked us to do, and that I am and will be aligned with Him when I do those things.
I love it. Okay, last one. We're gonna end
Okay,
with what are you carrying with you into next year?
what am I carrying?
What are you carrying with you into next year?
Literally?
Figuratively. I mean, literally, if you want to.
Let's see. I'm carrying into next year my favorite balloon pants that Halftee sells because I love them.
These ones.
Oh yeah, Bailee has one.
I'm
Bailee and I
obsessed.
have the exact same amount of love for them.
I love them
You
so
wear them
much.
probably more than I do.
It's a problem.
Yes, but I
I
love
love
them. I
them.
wear them at least twice a week because I
Mm,
love them. So I'm
yeah.
going to carry those jeans
Mhm.
into next year. I'm going to carry in a stronger testimony that things will work out, and that and just know that God is He's with me and He's good and all is well. All is well. And I'm also carrying into next year that my life is and all of our lives are just, but specifically me, abundance. That I am so abundantly blessed in all the things. And to really remember that quit looking sideways. Quit Princess and I were having this conversation this morning. How hard it is to see someone else step into something and it just seems to just explode, right? And then here I am trudging in 17 years, not trudging, it's been a beautiful experience and I've loved it. There's been highs and lows, and there will always be those, especially when you're in the thick of it for 17 years, right? But it just making sure that I'm not comparing, but that I'm creating the life that I want, and that everybody's oh, what's it called? I don't know. Everybody's journey is so different,
Mm.
and everybody's journey is defined differently. It's going to feel different. It's going to look different. And quit comparing my journey with somebody else's, because my journey is just as sweet and and way more important to my life than what their journey might look like.
Mm.
So what would that be? So jeans
That's
from
the
Halftee.
important one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jeans from Halftee. I'm carrying in a stronger testimony of my Savior Jesus Christ and how much He loves me. And create, don't compare.
I love it. Okay, well, the last thing we always do is you get to open a present.
Oh, that's so cute! I didn't know I got
So
a
this is
present.
for you.
This is the cutest, guys. I'm not kidding. Is this not the cutest? I mean, we took a little bit longer because she's interviewing me, and I'm very like to talk. So I'm sure your kids' interviews will be significantly shorter,
It's literally my favorite thing in the whole
but
world.
you love it.
It's been so fun to watch. Like, I mean, I can watch back and watch my brothers grow up, and then we made my now husband. I think we've
Incorporated him into
in
it.
2 years now. I think,
Oh,
even
that's
though we've
so
only been married for
cute.
one. Or like, my grandpa's passed on now, and my first year, like we did it at, well, I guess we live there now, but at my grandparents' house.
Uh-huh.
And so my aunts and uncles were still there, so my cousins are in some of them, and
Oh my
my grandpa
gosh.
is, and like I said, he's passed on now.
Yeah.
And it's really a blast. It's my absolute favorite
Oh, it's
tradition, and I'll
so
never let go of
cute.
it. So
And make sure you have a little present because this is like so sweet.
so we always get our Christmas pajamas. We open them on Christmas Eve.
Oh, it's Christmas song.
We all
How
change and then take our
cute.
picture. So
You do?
we do. Yeah.
How long does this take if you're doing your whole family?
Let's see. I have 3 little brothers. We honestly only go 5 to 10 minutes
Okay.
each, so it takes maybe an hour and a
Okay.
half at the
And then
most.
each of them are opening their like little
And then,
Christmas
yeah, we
present.
open our Christmas jammies, and then
Oh,
we watch the nativity, and we go to bed. So,
cute tradition.
Christmas Eve is actually my favorite at
That
my
is
house.
so fun. So this would be like, I mean, this would be so fun if Christmas Eve is kind of busy. Maybe you do it the day after Christmas when things have kind of settled
Yeah,
down.
we've had years that we've traveled, so we've done it days early or whatever,
Oh,
but can't go a year
that's
without it.
so
So,
sweet. Well, thank you for my socks. They're so cute. For those of you that are listening and not watching, they're little, well, looks like the Christmas vacation car that they're driving with a Christmas tree on top. That's what it showed. That's what flashed into my head. But Bailee was here with me today talking about a fun Christmas tradition that she has done with her family. And of course, we talked about some traditions with um with me and Christmas, and so fun. And honestly, such a perfect reminder of why we do this. It never really is about the activity itself. It's about connection. Those shared moments that become the heartbeat of our family. Whether your traditions are loud or quiet, fancy or simple, planned or totally accidental, they matter. They remind us of who we are, who we love, and who we're becoming together. So as you head into this Christmas season, I hope you find joy in the traditions that keep your family close and your heart grounded in Christ. So until next time, let your choices shape the world you want to see and love every layer of your life. Mwah.